Eric is playing a very conventional Gardevoir list.
Was that a counter energy in Igor's hand?
Oh, you know it was. We will get into that later once we see some of the spicy things that he busts out. So Eric here gets the really optimal play with Gardevoir. Goes for the turn 1 Bridget. Probably going to be going for probably 2 Ralts and a Remoraid. Maybe 2 Remoraid and a Ralts. I don't know. But I'm really excited to see this matchup play out. I can't say Igor is playing a variation on Golisopod Zoroark, but it is a really, it is an interesting list. I'm going to leave it at
There's
that.
a lot of interesting things here. So typically this matchup is very weird, and some would say it's favored in Zoroark's favor because Gardevoir uses his attack to feed off of all the energy your opponent attaches, but Golisopod Zoroark only needs 1 energy attachment. So the damage cap is very limited there. So it's kind of interesting, but then again, Gardevoir has Gallade for Zoroark.
Absolutely.
And that's a huge factor in this matchup. 150 HP, a really hard number for Zoroark to hit. So this is definitely an interesting matchup.
Definitely an interesting matchup for sure. And I think that going forward into Igor's turn here, it looks like he's going for an Ultra Ball. Getting rid of a Field Blower, I don't know what else he's going to discard. I would not discard that counter energy so that you don't give Eric some weird idea. So going to get rid of the Mallow.
If he does play Puzzle, I feel like you just do that and it's kind of have him look at you like, wait, what?
Yeah, like what?
Throw him off.
What is this tomfoolery? So Igor's going to go ahead and play an Ultra Ball. I didn't see the rest of his hand. It didn't look all that great. So he's definitely going to go for a Tapu Lele. Looks like he's eyeing up that Bridget. Going to go ahead and get himself some 3 Nani-X basics and put those on his bench. Eyeing up a lot of Zoruas. I feel like in this matchup, you would go for a lot more of the Golisopods.
Yeah.
Or the Wimpods, absolutely.
I agree with that also, but I think it also comes down to, using the strength of Zoroark, and that's, Zoroark's tradability.
Yes.
So while it is kind of a liability on the bench with Gallade, potentially on your opponent's side of the field, but you still need that trade.
Yeah, absolutely. So still see Igor kind of like looking around in his deck. So, I mean, I guess we can sort of talk about why he's got that counter energy. So if I'm looking at the list that we were provided correctly, he plays 1 counter energy, and then he plays 1 breakpoint Sudowoodo with that watch and learn attack.
So that's the one that copies the last attack your opponent's active use, correct?
Correct, yes. So, if Eric just goes for like a ginormous, infinite force, Igor can just come back, put that counter energy on. That's already 2 energy.
Yes.
Plus a choice band.
Yes.
That is a really easy.
That's actually real. So, and it comes out too. You need a lot of energy to knock out a Golisopod, which will have 1 energy on it. So that could set up a potential play there that a Gardevoir has to load up, and you just retaliate back with a Sudowoodo. So.
Right, absolutely. So it looks like he's going to go for the Wimpod and 2 Zoruas for that Bridget that he just got. And he attaches the counter energy to Lele. Oh my god. So, unfortunately, counter energy does nothing when it is...
It counts as 1 colorless energy.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
so he can't energy grab this turn, obviously. So, we're going to see Eric go straight for the Gallade. I like that play. I think Gallade is really good in this matchup just because it one-shots the Zoroarks that might come into play. And it's also really good at trading with the Golisopod just because they have to waste their Crossing Cut GX to be able to knock out the Gallade, which is absolutely huge. So we're going to see Eric go ahead and go for that. It would be no surprise if he had like a rare candy in his hand to evolve. Be able to get an attack off right now.
The synergy with Gallade and Octillery is insane.
Yep, and there you go.
Premonition, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, put them in any order you like, on top of an Abyssal Hand to draw them all.
Yep, and we just saw that. Octillery just got put down. He evolved into Gallade. Used Abyssal Hand, drew himself a nice fresh 4 cards, and he has an Ultra Ball. So if he really wants to get aggressive, he could, maybe go for a Tapu Lele for a Guzma or something like that.
And I can honestly see that play happening right now.
Right, exactly. So we're going to see
that.
Yeah, it's up to Guzma.
Oh, he's going for the Wimpod.
That actually makes sense.
I like that play.
Yes, that is a really good play.
Take off the liability off the board, or I guess the real issue off the board, and keep all the fighting weak stuff on there.
Yes, absolutely. And Gallade's attack, Sensitive Blade, it does 60. But when you play a supporter, it does another 70. So that's perfect to knock out that Wimpod that has 70 HP.
And it looks like Eric's spicy tech is now being shown through his premonition in the form of Clefairy from the evolution set.
Clefairy. What a good card. So I believe it's for 3 colorless?
3 colorless.
3 colorless lets you copy one of your opponent's attacks that they just used, correct?
Yep.
Yep.
And you know what? If you're feeling really good, the first attack for a colorless, put some sleep.
Hey, there we go. All right, very good. So going back to Igor's turn, he's going to go ahead and play Professor Sycamore, draw himself a nice fresh hand of 7 cards. And what do you want to see out of Igor at this point? I mean, I feel like you'd obviously want to evolve the Zora. I don't know if you'd want to attack with them though. Is the problem? Would you just go in with a Tapu Lele GX?
Right now, I would have a Tapu Lele GX because he needs a lot to knock out, return knockout with only potentially one Gardevoir. I don't think it's going to happen. So I think Lele is fine. Just attacking right now. Attach DCE. Whoa, was that just a pass?
Or a pass.
That was a puzzle time pass.
And
double Gallade.
Double Gallade. Oh boy. And there goes the Fairy Energy attachment there. Eric is on fire right now, using that Abyssal Hand to draw his hand up to 5. My goodness. Oh, there's an N. All right. So both players are going to shuffle their hands in, draw a card for each of their remaining prize cards.
This is a really good spot for... he can get stuff to a situation where he can Premonition once, Abyssal Head the first time, then Premonition again, and then Abyssal Head a second time.
Yes, he can.
That's an absolutely insane combo.
This is going to be really fun. So, yeah, Eric's going to get 5 cards. Igor's going to get 6. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Eric's in a really good board state right now. Not to say that Igor can't come back. I think that if he can get the right cards...
And he drew a parallel. Is that a parallel? No, that's not
That's
parallel.
Curlia.
For a quick second.
I wish it were. All right, he's going to play an Ultra Ball. I don't see why he wouldn't get the second Octillery out. That sounds like fun. If he plays the second Octillery.
Oh, yeah, he plays 2/2 line.
Oh, gosh, he does.
And he just glanced by it, so we could see it come out right now.
So we could see it coming out, or if you wanted to get like a third Waltz out or something like that. Yep, he's going to go for the Octillery. Get himself another Abyssal Hand for this turn.
He is end-proof at this point.
Pretty much. Like, you knock out one thing, well, okay, I'll just, rearrange my stuff and go into the deck. Knock out another thing, I'll just do the exact same thing. So we're going to go ahead and see Eric use that Premonition ability. Actually, let's see, look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Rearrange them however you want. That is a really good ability in tandem with Octillery.
Yep. That,
lets you draw till you have 5 cards in your hand. You can rearrange it to get exactly what you want, which is huge. So we're going to see him do that, and then he's going to use his second Abyssal Hand, draw another 3 cards. Oh, my goodness. And he's going to Premonition again.
This is the exact combo we just mentioned. And
gosh, this is so good.
It is putting in work.
Yeah. Gosh, this is so good. All right, so he's going to go ahead and Premonition, rearrange those 5 cards for the second time. Just because the Premonition abilities, you can use one for each Glade you have in play. So it looks like he's kind of deciding. Does he want to put like a Gardevoir on top, or what does he want to put on top?
I figured he was hoping to see a Raw. Is that a Curly in his hand right there?
Probably.
But, I mean, obviously, this state right now he's in right now
is perfect. There is one of Igor's spicy texts. It's a Mew EX. So a card that is still legal because of the promo print that came out last year, I believe. Has that versatile ability. Lets you copy any attack on the board as long as you have the energy. So he can copy Sensitive Blade here.
It's kind of like a risk-reward thing because, yes, you get to knock out the Gallade, but
then
return knockout so easy with just a supporter.
Yeah, the downside is that Mew is 120 HP, and a Sensitive Blade after a supporter is played knocks out the Mew.
It out, yeah.
I did not mean to rhyme there. I'm so sorry.
Did you not mean to do it?
Or did I? Secret plan. All right. So it looks like Igor's going to go ahead and play an N. Igor's going to get 6 cards. Eric's going to get 5 again. I mean, I don't know. I feel like this is going to be a really nice knockout for Igor, so he can at least maintain the pressure and at least stay up with the same pace that Eric is going at.
That's very true.
Because at this point, Eric can just not do whatever he wants, but he can just get whatever he wants.
Well, he's hit a Guzma, so now next all he's do is promote Octillery and Guzma up.
All right, there's a Parallel City. Going to knock Eric down to 3. Evo Soda probably going to get a Zoroark.
So this Zoroark's going to go down next turn.
Yeah. So we'll just have to wait and see what Eric can respond with. So there goes Evo Soda. Evolving into that Zoroark, would not be surprised to see a trade this turn. That trade ability letting you discard 1 card. Get 2 cards off the top of your deck. Draw 2 cards. Seems pretty good. He's going to get rid of that Tapu Koko. Kind of realizes Tapu Koko isn't really useful at this point. And another Zoroark. So
getting some momentum here on Igor's side.
Yes. So
second
trade number 2. So, yep. Going to go ahead and retreat that Tapu Lele GX. Going to go into the Mew EX. Probably going to just copyright a speeding, just to be safe. And there goes the knockout on that Glade, and we are tied up on prizes.
All right, so
bet you didn't see this coming. So he's going to go ahead and attach the Fairy Energy to the Glade. Super odd. Probably going to put Glade back in, probably a Ralts. I think that might be it in his discard, is it?
I don't think he's lost any base.
Yeah, I think it's just... Oh, there's a Lele. Okay.
Oh, so for the Parallel City.
So, yeah, so he's going to put the Tapu Lele back in. But yeah, even if he doesn't have a supporter in hand, he can just Premonition, Abyssal Hand, get it, knock out the Mew. So
he has, looks like 1 spot. Oh, that's a Cynthia. I thought that was a Guzma.
All right, there you go.
He is set.
So he is set. So Cynthia is going to let him draw fresh new 6 cards from his deck. Personally, if I were playing, I'd love to see a Ralts at this point, just to have like as a nice backup attacker, because you don't know if Igor is going to have those puzzles.
And I think that's
what's
on Igor's mind right now, is that he does not have the backup ready. So
right.
So is that a Curlia that looks like?
Yeah, it looks like a Curlia. So it looks like he is going to Premonition, Oracle Fairy.
Right, so
but there is a Ralts, so I think he's going to move the Ralts to the top. I think he's also going to figure out how he can thin his hand down is the problem, because it doesn't look like he can thin his hand down to be able to draw that.
Not currently. He's already played supporter, and
right.
So he's kind of stuck. Kind of stuck in a sense.
I mean, obviously he is going to benefit from taking the 2 prizes here, but what do you do in this situation? You don't have an attacker for the next turn. That's the main problem. Yep, so he's just content to say, I'll use Sensitive Blade, I'll take 2 prizes, that seems fine. Yep, there we go, double puzzle. So he's probably going to boost back that Mew, probably a double Colorless Energy, or an N.
I like the N play.
I like the N play
so
as well.
He goes DC right now, has the quick knockout, and ends him down after you just Premonition, and takes away your only attacking option. So
he's considering putting the other puzzle back in his hand, though. I could see the point for either. Yeah, he's going to go for the puzzle instead, I think. So, going to go ahead and do that. Mew's going to go down. Trade number 1.
And I think he just hoping to hit the N off the trade.
Yeah. Acerola. Okay, yeah, that's a decent play. Might as well just play something, and it kind of gets that off the board so that it won't be prone to just the extra 40 damage that a Tapu Lele GX on Eric's side would maybe hit. Plus, it boosts, you know.
Yep. Well, I think he had to play it for the Sensitive Blade attack.
Yeah.
Or Riotous Beating.
I mean, he can copy Riotous Beating. So
yeah.
It's all good. So there we go. Glade is down, and on to Eric. He's got the Ralts.
So this is a scary spot.
This is a scary spot. If this Ralts goes down and he doesn't have any other Pokemon, then that would not be good for Eric. He will be without an attacker. So he's going to get the N. Looks like he's playing the N. So Eric's going to get 3 cards off this. Igor's going to get 4. If you're Igor, what do you want to draw at this point? Like, I mean, you have trade and everything.
I think he's pretty much a good spot. He's kind of just hoping that Eric does not hit this other Ralts, and he just wants to Guzma DC. Or actually, just Guzma. He still has the Float Stone on the Lele.
Absolutely.
So options are there, but Eric really just needs to find another basic, and it does not look like he had. He's a basic plus Field Blower.
Yeah, it does not look like he was able to get it off of there. He's going to play his hand down so he can use that second Abyssal hand from Octillery. Going to play Super Rod. Looks like he's shuffling Ralts, Glade, and a Fairy back in. So, pretty decent play. So, you know, next turn, maybe if he wants to get a Ralts or something like that. I mean, a Glade, excuse me. I mean, Ralts would be good, too. So, going to go ahead and shuffle those back in. That kind of stinks for Eric, though, because if that Ralts goes down due to, like, a Guzma or anything like that, he's in a rough spot.
Yep, he has a Gardevoir in hand, but if Igor does pull off,
too, so
if Igor does pull off the Guzma play,
so we're gonna see trade number 1.
I couldn't tell what card that was.
Yeah, I couldn't either. Looked like a Mallow. Not sure though. So Igor's just gonna play the 1 puzzle.
Yep, there Guzma to the top. Yep, Guzma to the top. That was.
So he's gonna Guzma to the top. Use trade number 2. Eventually, there we go. Gonna draw himself another 2, and one of those cards is definitely Guzma. He's gonna bring up the Ralts. Gonna go into the Float Stone. Gonna likely retreat. I could see him maybe just using the regular Zorg at this point, conserving Mew for the off chance the Glade comes out.
You have 5 minutes to verify your records and standings. Video game juniors, please verify your standings.
So he's looking through his discard, kind of eyeing out what he can do in future turns at this point. Yep, so he's going to go ahead and attach to the Zorg.
I like that play a lot.
Kind of sees the writing on the wall that, hey, if Eric does get another Glade out, I have an easy out to it.
Yep.
You know? So Riotous Beating is going to take the knockout there on that lone Ralts. So Eric's going to promote the Tapu Lele at this point and see what he can do from here. I think his biggest objective at this point is trying to get rid of that Parallel City and hopefully trying to get some Ralts on the board.
Yep, that's kind of the goal right now, just to refill that bench with Ralts in.
Yeah, absolutely. That is the only thing you should be doing at this point, I think. So
there's not much else he could do, though. Looking at his hand, I can see Parallel City or flip the side, but he's probably just going to get rid of the Lele's.
He's got Abyssal hands he can work with, so that maybe he can do that. Plays the Parallel City so that Igor has a bench of 3. And it looks like he's going to Guzma the Wimpod. I like that play, just so that it won't be on the bench so that First Impression can do stuff. Gonna draw 2. Hey, a Ralts.
There's a Ralts.
Ding,
All
ding,
right,
ding.
so we're getting somewhere.
And Abyssal Hand.
And is that a second Ralts? All right, that is exactly what he
Perfect.
needed at that point.
Wow.
So we still have Rare Candy Gardevoir, and we still have 2 Abyssal Hands. Curious on his Floatstone count.
Yeah, 0.
0 Floatstone.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's just kind of accepted that, you know, maybe he can hit a Guzma, maybe he's just going to get knocked out. Should be fine. So Igor's going to play another singular puzzle. Oh, that was a trade. Sorry, my bad. Yep, so there's the Golisopod. Going to go ahead and Guzma one of the Raltses.
Okay.
Kind of get it out of the way. And I think he's kind of figuring out, like, does he want to promote the Mew or the Zoroark? But I think at this point, Zoroark would be the play. Even with resistance, that is still a knockout. So I think he's just going to go ahead and go with that.
Yeah, definitely keeping Mew alive as the player now, because the only thing that really catches Eric up at this point is a Gallade sub.
Yes, absolutely. So let's see. So he's going to go ahead and go for the knockout. And Igor's down to 2 prizes.
So I wonder what's curious on Eric's mind, like what his out is on his mind right now.
I think the big thing, knocking out the Mew in some way, shape, or form. I think that's going to be the biggest thing. I think it's interesting because depending on what he evolves into, you know, the Golisopod didn't get any energy on there, and maybe he could go for like a Gallade or something like that. You can't knock that out without 2 energy attachments on that Golisopod. Zoroark's not going to knock it out. So there's a Rare Candy and a Cynthia. All right. Going to get nice 6 cards. So if you can hit double colorless energy, fairy energy, and choice band, does that knock out? No.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 180.
180.
Yep, 180 right there.
Yep. So, I mean, this play is still fine. He wanted to replenish his hand, so.
Let's see. Does he run Max Potion? Like a cool
No, there
play
are
would
no
be-
Max Potion in Eric's lists.
All right.
Yeah, I think he made the space for the extra Octillery by getting rid of the Max Potion. So, he's going to Secret Spring, attach for turn, Abyssal Hand for 1, a Giratina that won't do much this game, but he's playing it anyway, so he can Abyssal Hand again. Why not? So, there we go. So Eric's probably just going to go ahead and use Infinite Force. That'll deal 120 damage, which is a solid amount.
A solid amount, especially with how bulky Gardevoir is, plus the resistance. Like, he's almost forced to have to bring up Golisopod or Mew.
Yes, absolutely.
Which in this, since I think he'd probably bring up a Golisopod to attack with, if anything.
Yeah, definitely. I think the big thing that Eric has to look out for, though, is the amount of Acerolas that Igor's gotten rid of or played. Because at this point, Igor's out of his puzzles.
Yes,
So
correct.
you got to.
He used so he decided to opt to do Twilight GX, what looks like Eric's doing,
Oh.
and reloading his deck back with all support cards, Energy, Super Rise, etc.
Got it. Wow, that's actually a really interesting play. I can dig it. But yeah, so I mean, he's probably going to Twilight back a bunch of like his double colorless energies, his Guzmas, probably all that kind of stuff. So yeah, very good play on Eric's part. I didn't even think about that play.
A lot of people like forget that like how that attack. You know, everyone's thinking like Gardevoir just
You're
gun
just kinda
ho,
boom, boom,
load up
boom,
energy,
like,
just
yeah. But
load
there's
up and
more
knock
than
out.
just going complete aggro with Gardevoir. There's a lot of conservation that goes into it as well. And I think if you're Igor at this point, you are probably freaking out. Like, oh gosh, got all these resources back. Oh no.
Yep. Igor's kind of in a nice little spot too. I mean, he's only hitting for 60 right now, so I can see where that fear kind of comes to mind.
Right.
But it's definitely like an interesting spot for both players.
Absolutely.
But so one thing to keep in mind though, if he gets a grass on a Golisopod and it does not get knocked out,
Right.
the next turn, Cross Cut GX is just right there with the Lele on bench.
Right there, kaboom, kaboom. Right. So I think that's really what Igor is thinking about at this point, I would assume. So gonna go ahead and use that Twilight GX, shuffle 10 items, shuffle 10
Actually,
cards.
So he just needs Grass Energy and Guzma Choice Band right now because he can use the Mew to copy Crossing Cut GX. Mew uses all attacks in the field, correct?
Yeah, but it doesn't hit Lele for weakness.
Doesn't have to. Crossing Cut does 150.
Oh, Crossing. Oh,
Yeah,
that's right.
Crossing Cut hits for
Yeah.
150, Choice Band knockout, and that could be it right there since he already has energy on the Mew.
Oh, gosh. Gonna go ahead and trade. So, yeah, that's actually, wow, that's really good. So, yeah, and he had the Grass Energy in hand, didn't he?
He does, but I think
So-
he needs Choice Band and Guzma to
Because
solidify
he has
that.
the Guzma. I saw the Guzma. Okay,
Alright,
so
so
he's just
he's-
going to attach there.
The
for
Choice
sure.
Band's already there, and I'm sure he probably plays a low count of them, so
Yeah.
that could be his reason why of going that route.
Absolutely.
Is he Guzman now, or he's going to hold?
It's going to feel low with the parallel. Kind of get Zoroark a little more damage. There we go, Pseudo Wudo. Watch and learn. So, going to go ahead and use the Riotous Beating for a
80.
solid 80. Yep.
please come up to the computers. Trading card master.
So on to Eric's turn. I mean,
please come up to the computers.
you know,
What's unfortunate right now is that Eric only has room for one more Ralts.
right.
With the Giratina prone being down there. So
Yeah, absolutely. And plus, like, if this gets knocked out, like, the Gardevoir gets knocked out, that's the last two prizes for Igor.
Yes, that's it.
He's done.
Yeah. But looks like we're going for.
Yeah,
Oh,
there we
there's
go.
Guzma.
There's Guzma, and he's going to go ahead. Don't see choice. Okay, gotcha. Choice band, retreat.
All right, cool. And it looks like Igor takes game
number one. All right.
Of round 4 for the correction.
Yeah. So definitely interesting. I'm really sad we didn't get to see Watch and Learn. I really wanted to see that. That would have been so much fun. Oh well.
I love to see like the cute text come out and actually be used, but you know, Watch and Learn is a little. I guess it's pretty intricate in this matchup. You know.
Yeah, I mean,
I
I think it's more so for like, you know, maybe like a Zoric mirror or something like that. I feel like it's kind of more so for that at that point. So I mean, if you're Eric at this point, what do you want to do? Going into game 2.
I mean, he had a solid start. I just think, you know, he lost his steam not getting the extra Ralts down. And I think that's the only reason he kind of was set behind.
Right.
Was not being able to put down multiple Ralts. So
I think he, you know, he had a stellar start and kind of figured like, oh, I'll be fine. But then, you know,
eventually,
Igor hit all of the pieces that he needed to hit.
So if Eric could do what he did last game, but just add those Ralts in, I think it would be in a solid spot for this
absolutely.
game too.
I think that Eric needs to get more than one Ralts down. That sounds good. Maybe. All right. So they're both just shuffling up, and yeah, we'll go from there. Do you think as Eric, do you want to try and go Gardevoir more or Gallade more?
I still like the Gallade route. I think the Gallade Octo route is still super optimal for this matchup. Is that a Ralts or hopefully that's just a Curlia?
Looks like a Curlia.
It's not starting with that hand. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. If that were a Ralts, I would not have had fun with that.
Oh man.
Ugh. So.
I will say, luckily so far with these games, I think minus just one game we streamed so far, everyone's had pretty successful draws for the start. Every game, someone
Nothing's been like really null at all.
Yeah, there hasn't been any donks or well, this is my hand, I can't do anything past.
Absolutely.
So I think that's a great part.
Yeah.
Kind of speaks for the format too right now. Adding Cynthia in.
Absolutely. And just another thing I like to point out, I always like to talk about the new sets when they come out. I think it's really cool. You can see how Cynthia has kind of changed this game a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, as if it were maybe like an N or something like that for Eric.
Yeah.
He had 3 prizes left. He was only going to get 3 cards if it were an N. Not to say Cynthia replaces N at all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But that he had that capability, I think, is really cool. And
there it goes. Reading the metronome.
I mean, I probably would have if I played today too. But there's a legal Clefairy? What?
Oh wow.
All right.
Just an N on his side.
Yeah, that's not good.
So no, if he doesn't get a bench, he can go DCE Kukui.
Ew.
And win off the
That
dunk.
does not sound fun.
But he does not play Kukui, so we won't see that play. But that's a
good.
lot of Zoric decks do opt for that. And,
yeah, maybe not the Golisopod as much.
Fair enough.
But oh well. So both of them are going to get 6 cards off this end that Eric played. We'll have to see if he gets a basic.
Oh.
Well, there's a Lele. You might kind of just want to play
yeah,
that for
you got to
safety
play
at that
get a
point.
Cynthia, and he has the Bridget in hand already. That's how I'm figuring he's going to think about that after he does his deck search.
He's going to just put a Cynthia in hand, I think.
Yep.
I mean, you're playing the Lele to be safe. You might as well get a supporter anyway. Like,
Exactly.
Thins out your deck anyway, so that you're more likely to hit a basic if you need to.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Trading card master Erica Pearson, please come up to the computer.
So he's just going to do a deck search real quick, just kind of make sure that, what do I have prized, what do I not have prized.
I'm curious if we're going to see Sing get put into use at all this matchup. Like after Evolves Zoroark, maybe just Sing on Clefairy, put him to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
I'm curious if that would be played all right
that
now.
would be hysterical.
All right, video game seniors and video game masters, you have 50 minutes. You may begin.
Wouldn't you just love a stream full of Sing? That would be fun.
It'd be a very long
I'd
game.
pay to watch that.
Oh,
all right.
I don't know about
that. Igor.
What is his hand?
Yeah, I can't tell what's in there, but it does not look good.
He didn't make an initial move, so.
Yeah, I would not attach there because, like.
Whoa.
Because.
Why would you attach? That's a retreat donk.
Well, I mean, he'd need the energy to
Yeah,
begin
fair
with.
enough.
So it looked like he had the Zoric in hand, did he? I can't tell.
Let's see if he shuffles through. That's a Golisopod look like.
Can't really tell.
He
Igor's just gonna scoop. He realizes that his hand is
so,
utter trash.
I guess I might have juiced it because after saying, at least no one's been donked yet.
Clefairy's busted. It just won a game.
Clefairy intimidated.
Praise Clefairy. All right.
Zorua.
So round 3, what do you want to see out of Clefairy? No. No, so I mean, game 3, obviously Igor's gonna want a not dead draw.
Yeah, he wants to see a couple more basics.
Yeah,
and
maybe
a couple more
an
supporters.
energy. something like that. So, and I think Eric had a fine setup going for himself anyway.
Yep.
Like, I mean, like, he was just kind of going for that Bridget because he knew that, like, eventually Igor is probably going to set up. So, to be able to, you know, get those Ralts down, get that Remoraid down, would be really helpful in his setup. So, we're just going to wait for them to shuffle up and
we're ready for Game 3?
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm hoping to see a little bit more out of this Game 3, where we spoke about Eric, getting more Ralts out, and Igor, duplicating what he did in Game 1.
Yes.
So hopefully get a little bit better game out of this one.
Yeah, definitely.
And just shook their hands. They could be ready to slide over to Game 3.
Yeah, any moment now. So, I mean, going into this match, I think we can't see the screen right now, but I mean, I think Eric would probably be hopefully starting out with a Bridget. That would be the ideal setup. Maybe get down a couple Ralts.
Especially for a Gardevoir deck. I mean, it's a setup-based deck. Bridget is the turn one play.
Kind of the same with the Glycopod decks.
Yep, exactly. A little bit more of a pace deck, and take his time to get to his ultimate goal.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. It'll really just depend on Eric's hand though, because as you saw in that previous game, he just had to play N on turn 1. His hand really wasn't that good. And looking at his list, he's playing 2 Bridget. He is the 3 Tapu Lele though, so like he'll probably be fine if he wants to sort of go for that.
Between the Ultra Balls, Tapu Leles, and even just starting with the Bridget in hand, consistently,
absolutely.
You should be able to get there.
Yep. So it looks like they were just setting up real quick. So Igor's starting out with the Tapu Koko. That's a pretty good card. As we saw earlier when Aaron Tarbell was playing that Garbodor deck, Tapu Koko's got use in a lot of decks aside from just like the simple spread decks all the way up to just, sort of softening things up, which I think this could actually be really good for...
yes, I agree.
For this matchup specifically, because if you can't evolve those Ralts in time,
you're
going to get flying flipped. You're going to get flipped over.
The convenience also Coco being with Glycopod, so having a free retreat and be able to just Guzma a free retreat from the Coco and hit the first impression with Glycopod also.
Right, yeah, absolutely. I'm saying absolutely too much. I need to strengthen my vocabulary. I absolutely need to. So Igor is playing a Bridget right now, getting himself a couple Zoroark and a Wimpod. He's also just looking through his deck kind of to see his prizes, and that's one of the things that I think is really cool amongst the really respected players, the ones that have done well. All the thing that I've seen them have in common is they're looking through their deck on their first search to see what prizes they have, like what may have been prized, like especially when you're playing one of text, like when you're like Igor, you have the 1 Tapu Koko, you have the Pseudo Wudo, you have the Mew, you have to look for those kind of cards if they're good in those matchups, and so I think that's really interesting of Igor to be
a lot of these players, they're really good at mapping out their routes, so they can kind of see, I have these X cards, what is now my path to victory against this deck, and they kind of just, put those variables together to kind of figure out what the best cards to pull out from the deck.
Yeah, definitely. I know that, like, if you're me, like, I just learned this skill about a year ago, and it was actually hysterical because I searched a couple weeks ago at a League Cup, and I found out all 3 Lycanroc were prized. I'm like, all right, cool. Sometimes it can really kill you.
Yep.
So it's a really good skill to have, though, for sure. For those of you who are looking to maybe like get into the game, maybe you're watching this for the first time. It's really a fun skill to have once you get into the more advanced side of it. So over on to Eric's turn. He's going to go ahead and play Bridget. Would not be surprised to see some variation of Remoraids and Ralts.
I wonder if he's going to favor more Ralts this game over his Remoraid compared to Game 1.
Very well might, because that kind of killed him not having the third attacker at that point, because he knows that Igor is playing Mew and stuff like that. So maybe Eric is almost thinking maybe of not going the Gallade route.
Yep.
At least
Initially.
immediately.
Yep. We'll definitely see. It looks like he is going with the Ralts and remaining in another Ralts. But right now he's doing similar to Igor to, let me see what all I got.
Yep, there we go.
How do I win? Can I do it with these cards?
Yep. Going to go for the 2 Ralts and the Remoraid. That seems like a fine play. So obviously that's really good because I wish he could get 3 Gallade out. But he can get 2 Gallade and a Gardevoir out.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
Yep. And, great game here because both players started with an opening Bridget without having a Lele or Ultra Ball for, search out for it. So
yeah,
both nice starts for each side.
And that saves it, if they do have like a Lele or something like that, then they can, use that to get maybe a Cynthia or a Sycamore or something like that.
Oh, wow.
So Igor's got a couple evolutions, got the Glycopod down, got the Zoroark GX down. Have we seen Glycopod attack this game? I don't think we have.
No, we have not.
At the end of Game 1.
Game 1, he won with a first impression for game.
Yeah, absolutely. So that first impression attack is really interesting. If Glycopod GX is on your bench during that turn and it becomes the active, then it does 120 instead of 30, which in combination with Choice Band, that's 150, which is really good.
It's a good number. That's a good number for? After a Coco spread hits 170 on a Lele. So
ding, ding, ding.
Lots of
winner,
convenient
chicken dinner
math for this Glycopod deck.
Absolutely. It's probably putting a really good impression on Eric.
Wow.
I promise I'm never this corny. So after the end that Igor just played, they're both going to get 6 cards. It looks like he's considering retreating the Tapu Koko. I don't see why he wouldn't. I mean,
Yeah, so I would take the knockout right now. There's not much. It needs a lot to do.
Yeah, you want to go for the knockout, but I think he's going to trade before he.
Gardevoir needs a lot
turn.
this next turn. If he goes Rare Candy, Gardevoir needs a lot to even get the knockout back on a Gliscod. Going back to what we said before, with him only having, it having 1 energy, so.
Definitely. So there we go. Let's see the knockout with the first impression from Gliscod GX on Igor's side. So Eric's going to promote the Ralts. Didn't see Eric's hand off of that N. So I don't know if he's got outs to being able to Rare Candy into something this turn, or if he might just have to settle for just putting out some Curlias. So we'll just have to wait and see at this point. But I would love to see a Gallade out this turn. It would force Igor to, use his Cross and Cut GX.
Oh, it's a very good point right there.
Yeah, it would force him to use that or find an alternate method to try and knock out the Gallade. Looks like he's just going to get the Curly off the Ultra Ball. So maybe he doesn't have the Rare Candy, combination with either a Gallade or a Gardevoir, but looks like he's taking that back, though. Maybe he's considering, he's going to go for it.
He's solidifying that.
All right. So he's going to go ahead and evolve that 1 on the bench, attach Fairy Energy, and play an N.
Looked like he was just kind of doing some, numbers in his head of, if I N, what are my odds of just hitting X cards?
Right.
And so he's kind of glancing through and seeing what all could get him to that route. So another nice factor that these top-level players have is kind of knowing the statistics of if I Ultra Ball or N at this point, what would it get me there, pretty much what I'm trying to say.
Would be good. Yeah, exactly. So, CNN, Igor's going to get 5. Doesn't really matter. Not that it doesn't matter, but he has the Zoroark, so he can trade away if he wants to. Eric's going to get 6. If we can see, a Rare Candy or something, that'd be pretty cool. Don't see it, though. He had a Gardevoir, and he had an Evo Soda. Ooh, the Parallel's good. So, Igor's got to get rid of 2 Pokemon. What would you get rid of in this situation? Because he has a lot on his bench that's valuable.
Ooh.
Tapu Koko seems like a pretty good choice.
I'm guessing Tapu Koko and a Wimpod.
Yeah.
At this point, Trey can get you back to your Field Blower. Field Blower can get you
Although
to
the thing
other
is,
stuff.
you kind of want Tapu Koko if you're going to do Guzma first impression
Yes,
shenanigans.
I agree with that, yep.
Yeah, so looks like Eric's just going to go for an Evo Soda. Gonna get out of Curlia. Unless
Octillery.
Ralts evolves into something else I don't know. Oh, Octillery. That's a good point.
Yep, because he says that, unless I get this Rare Candy, this Ralt's going to probably
die.
Get fainted
yeah,
anyway.
So there's no point at
knocked
that
out
point.
anyway, so.
So yep, gonna go ahead and get the Octillery with that Abyssal Hand ability. That is a lot of Abyssal Hand ability.
You're getting good at this.
What?
You're getting good at this.
Oh, thanks, you too. I tried. So he's gonna use Abyssal Hand, draw 1. Oh, right. Gets an Ultra Ball off of it.
Trying to see what else that is. Looks like it might be a Cynthia and a Gardevoir,
Yeah,
but
looks like he's just gonna pass. He just kind of sees, this Ralts is gonna die. Igor just has to play 1 puzzle. He might be digging for a Guzma, I think, at this point, because he wants to get rid of that Curlia, I bet. So, yep, gonna look at those top 3. Kind of gonna go from there. Because, obviously you want to get the Guzma, but, it looks like...
you can do a couple different things here. So you can, see, I don't think that's the right play. You got Armor Press right now, but then you leave 3 energy on your Golisopod, which is, asking for trouble with the Gardevoir.
Yes.
So I think, optimally, like you're saying, is the Guzma Riot Beating on that Curlia bench. But he needs another Pokemon.
Actually, Riot Beating wouldn't be knockout because of the parallel.
Yes, he needs another Pokemon, so he needs
Mhm.
Field Blower plus another Pokemon on bench.
Yeah, exactly. Or a surprise Kukui that we don't see on the list, but that would not be good.
Yeah.
So
Judge,
please. So, let's see. So it looks like he's just going to Professor Sycamore. Yeah, I think at that point, seeing he had the Sycamore, I think he was looking for the Guzma with the trade. So looks like he's going to go ahead and Evo Soda, I think.
that is such a good card in these
It is
Zoroark decks,
so
or these
good.
Stage 1 decks in general.
Absolutely. It's really good because Evo Soda lets you search your deck for a card that evolves from any one of your Pokemon on the bench.
It does 2
or on
things. It
on the
thins your
field.
deck and it gets your Stage 1 Pokemon. So
Right.
it's
Exactly.
always in use.
So it's like a slightly, I don't want to say like an Ultra Ball,
Yeah.
but it gets out of Pokemon without having to discard a bunch of cards.
And it works well with Zoroark because even if you have all your Zoroarks evolved, you can just, like Igor just did, trade the Evo Sodas away.
Trade away the Evo Sodas. Perfect. So it looks like he's going to do that, get himself another 2 cards. So he has a DCA in hand. Would you put that on a Zoroark, or do you think you'd put that on a Golisopod GX?
I'm not putting on Gliscod at this point. Well, there's a Flowstone. Okay, so yeah. So I was about to say, unless you have a Flowstone Retreat or all those kind of different numbers there. But I think this is fine.
Yep, that works perfectly fine. So yeah, he's going to get the Riot Beating knockout here. Does 20 for each of the Pokemon on Igor's side of the field, which is 80 minus 20 from Resistance is a perfect 60.
I'm really curious if he's going to go just straight up Gallade here.
He very well might. I thought he had a Gardevoir.
He has Gardevoir in hand, but you could Ultra Ball it away, or Ultra Ball.
I think at this
cards
point
in hand.
Gardevoir would actually be really interesting because you can get a Fairy Energy DCE and a Choice Band, and that should be a knockout.
Another fairy, do you see?
Yeah, because he can secret spring.
210.
Yep,
210.
exactly. But it looks like he's gonna go for Glade. I can see the merits of that too. You just got to be really careful of that crossing cut GX.
Yep.
Is really all you got to look out for. So gonna attach a fairy. There's the Tapu Lele. Gonna wonder tag for a card. Wouldn't be surprised to see like Cynthia and gonna go for the end. Gonna go ahead and play that. So Eric's gonna get 6. Igor's gonna get 4. I think if you're Eric, you want to draw another Ralts off of
We
this.
need
because
these Ralts,
you need them.
and we need them now.
You need some of them draining kisses.
Is that what that tech is? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's right there on the screen. You're getting
Fair
good at this.
Enough.
So yeah, Igor's gonna get 4. Eric's gonna get 6. And I think if you're Igor at that point, you want a double colorless energy, and there it is in his hand. So crossing cut will definitely happen next turn.
And Eric did not hit a Ralts either.
Yeah. He does have Abyssal Hand if he can narrow his hand down enough.
Fair enough.
He does have Ultra Ball, so he has options.
Okay, so he's gonna get it out. So he'll Ultra Ball the 2 fairies away, get a Ralts on bench, and then Abyssal for the other 3 cards.
Right. Yep.
So he's gonna get a knockout, and he has another return knockout potentially with the Ralts if he goes cross cut. So not a bad spot.
Yep, and I think it's really cool on Eric's side. If I saw correctly, there is a rare candy in his hand.
Yes. So this is actually
if
a really
he
good
can
spot.
get something, that's gonna be big. So it looks like Eric is gonna use the premonition
There's
ability.
Gardevoir right there.
And Clefairy. Sing, sing, sing. I love singing. I think you'd put the Gardevoir on top if you're gonna get hit by Golisopod with your energy, wouldn't you?
100%. And I like the Rimmerade going
Although
to
I
the
can
top
see
also.
the merits of Gardevoir or of Glade. Yep, there goes the Abyssal Hand. Eric's going to draw 3. And I did see him put the Remoraid and the Gardevoir up there. And a Field Blower on the Floatstone. That's pretty good. And then Glade is going to go ahead and use that Sensitive Blade and knock out Zoric because of that dreaded fighting weakness. One of the only downsides of the card.
This game is a lot better. This game is, a lot of great plays on both sides. Yeah, a lot closer. So
absolutely. So if you're Igor at this point, would you promote the Golisopod? I probably would.
In this set, not knowing what's in Eric's hand, I'd probably promote the Golisopod. Yeah,
because crossing cut is going to make it go to the bench anyway.
Yep.
So
you can throw something up there to get knocked out regardless.
Yeah. Now an interesting thing is that if Eric had played it the other way, that crossing cut wouldn't have knocked out the
That
Glade.
is very true.
So yeah, that could have been really big. So Igor's going to play an N. Both are going to get 4 cards, it looks like. So.
One thing I like what these players do is they know when to do the extra, the little things, such as attaching a choice span before an N. They know that they're going to get to a low hand size, and they want to hit X cards. So what are my best odds of doing that? Let me thin that out. So, keep track of that kind of stuff when these players do it. It's really unique.
Yeah, it's so fun to see all the intricacies that go into it, because a lot of people kind of see the trading card game and they think, oh, it's just a bunch of cards. Like, how hard can it be? But there's so many intricacies that go into that. You see, like if you're playing a card where you're going to draw like that, you want to get rid of your cards.
Yes.
If you're, like I mentioned earlier with the checking prizes thing, there's so many intricacies that go into this game. It is actually really insane. And to see 2 top-level players like this, it's really fun. So there we go. Igor is going to use the Crossing Cut GX attack. Going to knock that Glade out. And here we go. So I think the problem for Igor going forward is that if Eric gets a Gardevoir, how do you respond?
It's going to be pretty tough because now you use GX attack. Armor Press is just not really useful at this point. If you get two Gardevoirs out, he's putting himself back in the driver's seat. So
and plus the counter energy is already on the board.
And the counter energy already on the board, so there's no Sudowoodo. I mean, there's still puzzles.
That is true.
I think he still has 2 left. I know I saw 2 go away.
Okay.
So you may have the other 2 left still. But no, I think if Eric can get out of Gardevoir and start doing some serious damage, this game could very well end up in his favor. So
yeah, absolutely. So it looks like Eric is playing an Eva Soda.
Did he just bench that Ralts? Okay, cool. They're correcting it. Yeah, because he just benched a Ralts, so he can't evolve the one down.
Yeah.
Did he just bench it? Correct.
Yeah, he just.
Yeah.
So the way that it works though is that he does it. That one was just played.
That one was just played. We can get someone to catch that. Okay, there it goes.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, like Evo Soda, the cool thing is that the deck is private knowledge, so he does not have to evolve if he doesn't want to. He's just going to go for the Octillery, though. That's fine. Because I know that he has the Rare Candy Gardevoir in hand. I think that he probably wants to go for that. So
very solid.
So, I mean, he can knock the Zoro out so easy. Or actually, no, I lied. He got End. I forgot that N exists. I got so excited about Cynthia that I just forgot.
So I'm curious why he didn't bench the other Ralts before doing the
I don't know
Abyssal
about
Hand.
that either, yeah. Or was it a Curlia? I couldn't tell.
It might be a Curlia. No, that's a Ralts.
No, that's a Ralts.
That's a Ralts.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know why you wouldn't do that. That would give you one extra card with the Abyssal Hand.
Now
Thankfully, he
curious
does
what
have a
that
second
one card
Abyssal
is.
Hand that he can burn if he wants to, but... So he's eyeing a Guzma. I don't know you Guzma at this point, though, because then that just brings up Galisopod to do more.
Trading card game master James Turner.
Okay,
Okay,
there we
I
go.
like this. I like this.
Yeah.
And he got a DC choice band. That's
Trading card game master James
honestly a little
Turner.
convenient.
Please report to the
Okay.
hive.
He's gonna hold on to that.
Yeah, I like that. Just putting the energy on just so that you don't, like...
You
have
retreat
something
later
to bounce
on.
off of. Right. So there we go. There goes a trade. Ditches an Ultra Ball.
This is actually a really good play because Crosscut GX has already been used. So Lele is pretty much, he's there. I'm like, I'll take the one hit. It's fine.
Yep. I did see Igor get a Guzma, so he could Guzma that Curlia and armor press it. I think that would put Eric in a pretty pressing situation. So,
There you go, good.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
And that's exactly what we see.
I literally, yep, there you go. A pressing situation for Eric. Oh my god.
This
So,
is only
armor
round
press,
4,
and
everybody.
the other big thing is, even if he gets a Gardevoir out, 20 damage is taken off because of armor press.
Yep.
So, or 30. I'm bad with numbers.
It's 30.
Is it 30?
It's minus 30, I
It's
believe.
30. You're a pro commentator here, guys. So, so from this point, Eric's gonna attach DCE and choice band to the
Yeah,
Tapu
so
Lele.
20, 40, 60,
I mean,
80,
I
100,
I can see the
120,
validity
150.
in that, just because
So
nothing on
120.
the board can actually knock anything out.
Yeah, there's nothing there. And especially under parallel, the Zork's never going to get to those numbers.
Right,
So,
exactly. So that's a fine play. I can see it.
TCG Master Connor Burns, please report.
So yeah, Igor's gonna get 2, and he only has 1 trade, so this one does kind of hurt a little bit.
yes.
Connor Burns.
So I didn't see what he got. Eric just used Abyssal Hand, and yep, gonna go ahead and use Wonder, or not Wonder Tag, Energy Drive for.
So I guess it's only minus 20. Well, actually,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
20, 40,
120,
60, 80, 120,
150.
40.
Someone will have to let him know about the armor press.
Yes, somebody let them know about Armor Press, yep.
Yeah, let him know about the armor press.
Hey guys, there's Armor Press on that attack. All right, well, I'll keep it going for right now while Chris goes to figure that out. But right now, Igor's just doing a little search through his discard, kind of seeing what he has left in his deck, what already he's used up for this game, and kind of figure out what is the best situation right now to go moving forward. I haven't seen what's in his hands yet. Yep, there it goes. Judge is going in now to fix the Armor Press damage. Okay, sorry about that. And yeah, so they're still going, and Judge got all figured out. The damage is all good to go, and we're moving on forward through the game.
Sorry about that. It looked like the numbers were really weird on our screen. Just wanted to verify. So
We want to be legitimate here for everyone here, make sure everyone's, playing a fair game and all the rules get enforced correctly. So, but we are going forward. They're still doing a math, just double check. Choice man. And Armor Press does try to
yeah,
figure
so the judges are working on it right now. I'm sure it'll be fine. So
Okay, they both agreed to whatever the number is. It's kind of hard to see.
Anywho, Igor goes ahead and uses that trade ability. Gonna get rid of the Sudowoodo there. Kind of sees that there's not really much of a point in having it right now. So there goes a Field Blower. Gonna get rid of a Parallel City. I don't know why he would not get rid of the Choice Band, though.
That's actually a good point also. Maybe he knows, he feels he's going to knock it out maybe this turn, but I don't see how he
Right.
does that. Okay, Enhanced Hammer on the DCE.
There we go.
And
Maybe he really just
that
wants
is an
Eric to
Armor
waste
Press.
that energy, so. Alright, so Armor Press goes down. Gonna do that. Damage to the Tapu Lele GX. And Eric's gonna go for the Cynthia here. Gonna get a fresh hand of 6
So he
cards.
needs the
So,
Gardevoir play right now. So
off these 6 cards, I think you kind of want to get a rare candy.
you want to go Candy Gardevoir, retreat, and knock out this Glisspod. That's it right there.
Kabloom. That's all you want to do.
Because Zorg won't
And
do
at
much
this
right
point,
now.
you gotta have to hope that Igor's one card is not
Rare
a Guzma.
Candy. I see a Gallade. I do not see a Gardevoir, but Gallade is still enough.
Yeah,
he
Gallade
has
is
double colorless energy.
definitely still enough.
He has Premonition. He has, Abyssal Hand.
Right.
So it's all still. There's a Rare Candy right there. Do we see another Gardevoir to go with it? No.
Clefairy. So
You put him to sleep.
yeah, this is really huge for Igor because like if he doesn't have a Guzma, this could get really ugly really fast.
Yep.
Obviously, a Guzma, assuming that the Tapu Lele is going to retreat, Guzma would be able to bring up that Tapu Lele, but, what do? So it looks like Eric is going to go ahead and use Abyssal Hand numero dos. Going to go ahead and get an extra 2 cards. Going to retreat, and then going to go ahead and promote that Gallade, and going to use that Sensitive Blade attack.
Yep, and that should be enough for knockout.
Should be, yep. There we go. Tapu Lele.
There it is. He had
There you
Guzman
go.
hand.
All right, there you go.
Last 2 prizes were 2 Zorks.
There you go.
Wow.